Hello everyone, this is Electric Productions, back here with another review, this time on Captain America Civil War, the Winter Soldier figure. This is the Walmart exclusive figure, part of the Legends series as you can see there, so 6-inch figure. And let's get right into the review. Alright, and then on the side we have some concept art, it looks like, of Bucky, and that's on both sides. And moving on to the back, here we have what seems to be a promotional shot of the figure, which is looking pretty nice. And above is a short bio, which I will show. Alright, there's a closer look at the bio. So basically says, the Winter Soldier is a fierce combatant and an asset in battle, no matter which team he fights for. So that's essentially it for the box, so let's open it up. And so here's the figure out of the package. It's definitely a great figure in my opinion. I mean, the likeliness is pretty good. The accessory count isn't too bad. The paint and sculpting is actually surprisingly good. So anyway, we'll start off with the accessories. So the first accessory is basically a knife painted black and sort of like dark red, more like a brownish color, I guess, looking at it more closely now. So yeah, it does fit in his hand pretty well, at least his left hand as shown here. It does go in a little bit further, but I'm trying to be a little bit careful with that hand because it is actually painted on the skin, I believe, so trying to avoid chipping there. The only other accessory is this pistol here, which uses the same color scheme as the knife, basically, half and half. I don't remember what else this is from, or if it's from anything. I don't know if it's a new sculpt or not. It does fit a little bit weird in each hand. Hopefully I can make it work by the end of the video. So moving on to more sort of detailing on the figure, the head sculpt is actually pretty nice. The likeliness, as I said before, is pretty good in my opinion. There's a nice shadow going on, and the eyes are well painted, I'd say. And then also, if it's possible to see on the camera, I'm not sure, but there are it's sort of a two-toned color. I actually thought it was going to be solid, but that was a nice little surprise. And it's sculpted really well, I think. So for the torso, which I'm pretty sure is a new sculpt as the head is, there's a few different things going on. As you can see, there's some well-painted buckles and all that where they use specific types of paint to help enhance that effect, which definitely worked. There's some more detailing on the arm. I think this might be the same arm from the Winter Soldier figure as with the metal arm as well. I'm not 100% sure though, so correct me if I'm wrong. And here's his metal arm, which looks pretty cool. There's like some black outlines in the mold to help fill it out, which looks really nice. And then on the back here, there's sort of like a leather looking patch strapped to the back, and just some more details here. The belt here actually does move up and down, which is sort of a good or bad thing depending on what this is used for. And moving on to the legs, there's sort of like that glossy effect. It seems amplified on the camera. In person, it doesn't look too bad on the legs, but it definitely, I guess, gives somewhat of an illusion of pants, not as well as, it doesn't work as well as the other details on the figure, in my opinion. And yeah, so then there's some creases there. They look pretty similar to the legs themselves, especially the knee pads to the Winter Soldier version of this figure, the one with the worse alternate head sculpt than this one. And here we have the boots, which have some nice detailing on them on both sides. And as you can see here, looks pretty good. So for articulation, the figure is actually pretty good. So the head moves up about that far, and then down only about that far, but still, it's I consider that okay, I guess. I mean, personally, I don't need it to go any farther, but it would be nice, I guess. And it also tilts 360, so it's basically a ball joint except with a swivel hinge type thing. And then ball jointed shoulders here, and then swivel biceps, double hinged elbows that go in about, it seems like maybe that far, I think. it's not moving any further, so I'm not sure if mine is just having, because when I tried it with this side, oh, I think it actually does move a little bit further. I think it's just the stiffness of the figure being a new figure and all. Yeah, so it moves about that far, which is actually pretty great. And then you've got the swivel hinge wrists, which it's not really moving inwards because it's stiff, but it definitely looks like it's a ball joint with the it definitely swivels 360, and you can see the joint there, so it's has that up and down motion. Then next there's the ab crunch, which, oh, that's something just came loose or got broken in. So it goes in about that far, but one issue I just noticed is that there's like a gaping hole back here, which could be potentially problematic. The good thing about it though is it's that like clicking type joint, so it doesn't really, it's supposed to at least not become loose. And then it goes far back as well, I think. Yeah, it's stuck sort of right there. And okay, there we go. And so, as previously mentioned, I did assume that there's waist articulation. So there definitely seems to be, because as you can see here, I'm able to I was able to move it a little bit because this is not fully aligned with the hip area anymore. But I just didn't want to try too hard and potentially snap anything. It's probably best to use a hot water or something like that. Anyways, then there's ball jointed legs. So the standard new cool Marvel Legends thing they've been doing with them. Well, I mean, not exactly new, but they sort of, the thing that they replace the actual ball and then hinge type thing with, so the more easier way, I guess. And then there's swivel right below that, thighs, and then double jointed knees, which go about that far in. And there's no swivel here, but there is ankle rockers or ankle pivot or whichever you'd like to call it. They also move up and down, so really good articulation on this figure. And that is basically it for this figure. And as a side note, I was actually able to fit the handgun in the figure's hand. It didn't exactly work at first, but sort of fit. I think it would work a little bit better if you used something to move the plastic a little bit more. But yeah, other than that, that's definitely one of the best, I'd say, that I've purchased recently in comparison to even like my last few reviews. So I definitely recommend this figure. It's the articulation is great, the head sculpt is fantastic. The only drawback would probably be the price, because the price actually, I don't know if this is for Walmart exclusives only or if it's for everything now, but when I picked this up at Walmart, and this is in Canadian, keep in mind, $29 I believe. Usually they're about 24, so that price hike is a little bit of a drawback, I guess, especially since it still has the same amount of accessories. So I'm not sure if this is for this line or if that's just in general now. But other than that, I think this figure is a solid addition to any collection, especially since it's one of the best figures of the movie version of the Winter Soldier, and definitely beats out the Winter Soldier edition. So other than that, thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more of these, please subscribe. Share this video with anybody who you think might like it. And yeah, thanks.